this is a test. This is to see if this technique of commentating over is useful for me. Is it productive? Does it achieve certain goals of being useful to not just myself but other people that could potentially watch it on YouTube and be like, oh, right, yeah, Maschine, oh, I like that, oh, right, yeah, okay, so you press this and press that and it works. Brilliant. So yeah, maybe it can be useful. If not, then this is the end of these videos. So there's a few resources that would be useful to share, and first one would be like the Native Instruments forum. There's some pretty good information on there, and if you have like a question for a problem that you're having, then those guys on there will help you out, be that other forum users or the moderators in control of the space. And another source that is fantastic is machinetutorials.com. It's run by St. Joe and Knocked Squared, and these guys know their stuff. They know Maschine, and they've been sharing tutorials since 2009 when Maschine came out. And man, these guys know their stuff, and they're really cool guys. And when I first bought Maschine, I had no clue, and the the manual wasn't very useful. It's kind of like it gives you some ideas of like what this button means, but putting it into the process of actually using it to achieve making a beat or using it to control a synth, or linking it to a DAW, Maschine Tutorials is where it's at. There's other resources, but personally the place that I found like the most help was Maschine Tutorials. If you have a question, email them and they get back to you as soon as they can. It's generally St. Joe that I've had more interaction with, and he seems to be the one that's posting most videos on there. But Knocked Squared is posting stuff too. Man, those guys are so cool. Like really humble, lovely guys, and it's a pleasure to communicate with them. They help me out so much. So I think I was a member of the website for about a year and a half, and you can't find like those tutorials anywhere. So they have some public ones, but a lot of the private ones, there's some real juicy info on how to use Maschine. So yeah, if you want to find out, check out Maschine Tutorials. Okay, so let's have a look at this video and if there's anything I can highlight. I'm duplicating a sound there, so from the first group I'm duplicating a sound over to the second group, which is yellow. First group's orange. And the reason is it's kind of like I use groups like channels, like tracks. So for me, I like to use a group like a track in many respects. When I'm arranging a track, I definitely use groups as tracks, because now with the software updates you have unlimited groups, which is fantastic. And it helps when you look at the mixer page, which is also new in the software. it's great to see all the groups kind of lined up there, and you can visualize, you know, where the volumes are and so on. You can do that within a group, but a group only has 16 sounds, 16 pads, or you could say 16 channels, tracks. But generally, if you're making a track, you probably have more than 16 sounds. So that's one reason why I like to use one group per sound. And then because like on the actual hardware, you've got 8 groups visually within those 8 buttons. If you want to continue to duplicate and have extra sounds, you use Shift, and you can start creating more groups. It's quite easy to run through the different groups, because then you'll start having pages. You'll have a page 1 of groups for the first 8, and then a page 2 for the second 8, and a page 3 for the third 8, and so on and so forth. I think it's quite important to, like, you know, kind of have a feel for what, you know, you're like, yeah, this sounds good, but like, don't be too critical, you know, just let yourself be creative, you know, just kind of stay in the zone of being creative rather than critic. You just kind of have that feeling of like, yeah, I like this, it sounds good, and just like, where am I gonna take it? I'm not too sure, just keep rolling. All these sounds are from expansion packs that I've purchased. Sometimes Native Instrument does expansion pack deals where you can get like 5 expansion packs for $50, something like that. That's exactly what I did. I think I got like 9 expansion packs for $99. I think the first one I bought was $50 or $49. So you can imagine, jump on the chance of getting a deal. So another reason I'm doing some commentary over this video is because kind of like, it's a bit, I would say it's a bit dull just to kind of watch me doing the tweakery, you know, the improv. So what am I doing here? I think I'm just finding a sound, random sound. I'm sure you can make a better beat than this, huh? I'm not taking the mic. Just prove it. I'm sure you can. The reason I got Maschine was purely kind of like out of, tried everything else, and I didn't think, what am I saying? I started off with Propellerhead Reason software, and I loved it. Had computer problems, didn't make any music for a few years, and tried Ableton Live to the point of like spending a whole week on Ableton Live trying to get it, get something. And after that week, my conclusion was that I should play guitar. I really didn't get anywhere. I was just, I don't really feel that software too much. I know it's really good, But in terms of like the visual presentation and various other things, you know, I just don't dig it on the same level as I do Native Instruments Maschine and Reason. The advantage of Maschine is that you've got the hardware. Like, if it was just the software, it'd be pretty rubbish. And yeah, hardware kicks ass. So before I got Maschine, I got an iPhone, and one of the first apps I got for making music was iMaschine, which is the Maschine iOS app, and I fell in love with it. It was like the first time I'd made a beat and then actually like made a song to go with it, and it was just spur of the moment improv, like make a nice beat and then using the pads you can load in your vocals that you can record directly in, and just blew my mind and totally opened up my creative potential and thought like this is amazing. This app kicks ass. And so like I wanted to develop a lot of these tracks I was making with iMaschine, and you can export them as like song projects, and then from there you've got like the sounds within the project that you can, you know, they're in waveform, and then from there I was like, okay, I'll load it into Ableton Live and, you know, work with it from there. Yeah, I tried that, but I really didn't get anywhere with it. Again, it was just kind of, oh no, I'm in Ableton Live. I'm just stuck again. So the limitations of iMaschine app and my desire to actually develop these tracks I was making on iMaschine on the iPhone led me to go, well, you know, I've tried using the loops that I've made on iMaschine in Live or in another DAW. Can't do it, I'm just stuck. So I was like, well, the next step is I'm going to buy a machine. You know, it's kind of like you can continue the project in Maschine on the actual hardware and the software on the laptop, the computer, and that's how I led to Maschine. So if that is a design ploy by Native Instruments to then get you to buy Maschine, well, it worked. And I don't regret it whatsoever. I'm actually really stoked because I've not found anything that's fun to make beats with. If I make a beat first, the process seems to be quite a lot faster. Make the beat and then just get some extra sounds to fill in. Just like that. Can you hear like the bassline question and answer? It's like ask a question and then an answer. You'll hear it throughout most modern music too. see, like, I don't spend too much time, like, you know, if there's a sound, yeah, first kind of hint of, that sounds alright, grab it, use it, make something. I find there's like kind of like in the creative process, if I find a sound that I like and I play it, and then I go, okay, right, I'll start, you know, experimenting and changing it, and then losing the kind of flow of that, not using the sound in the end, and then I'm kind of like stumped. It's kind of like, oh man, it's kind of like you lose momentum. It's like a snowball going down a hill and it hits a tree. But if you keep the flow going, it's kind of like you have the ability to kind of choose to keep the momentum going. So I've just selected like that particular sound, and looks like I'm gonna be changing some of the just like a particular few notes, or just one note. That's the cool thing about it. Maschine makes it so easy to do this. I'd imagine Maschine Studios makes it even easier. It's got the cool coloured screens on the device, so you don't even have to look at the TV. What you might find is like this track gets a bit busy, and maybe it's a bit too busy, because you know I'm flowing to the point of just kind of filling every space with something. A lot of songs that have vocals are often much simpler in terms of like the rhythms and the percussions that they use. So like keep that in mind if you're going to be like using the track to, you know, to add vocals to. Where I'm going, I don't know. But that's kind of part of the buzz, is kind of like you don't know what you're doing. Ooh, what's that? Okay, found the sound, quite like it. You see, like, you know, just first kind of rhythm kind of sounds right, just going with it. Alright. So making a pattern, you can make the pattern whatever size you want. I think it's going to be a 2-bar pattern. Now I'm in pad mode. Oh, 1-bar loop, don't want that, make it a 2-bar loop or something, maybe a 4-bar loop. Okay, I just undid, start again. So yeah, you can control the volume, you can make the volume whatever you want on the device.